Hey there, and welcome back to Truth Talk Thursday. I'm Jenny Kuemmel, host of Mama Drama and Trauma. And check out our new sign that we have over here. I'm so excited. It's a little bright, and that's the lowest setting, but I really like it. So today I want to talk to you guys about something that's been sitting heavy on my heart lately. You know, everyone talks about healing like it's a finish line almost. Like one day you just wake up and you're over it. But the truth is, healing after divorce isn't a straight line. It's layered, it's messy, and it's full of moments where you find yourself missing what used to be while still being proud of how far you've come. This one's for anyone standing in that middle space, that space where grief and growth somehow live side by side. The space where you can mourn what you've lost and still be proud of who you're becoming. The paradox of healing. It's such a strange thing to miss the life you once had while knowing it's not the life that's meant for you anymore. There are days when the memories sneak in, the laughter around the dinner table, the holidays that felt so full, the version of me who believed that love would last forever. I still think about her sometimes. From time to time, I still remember her. The wife, the mom holding it all together, the woman who thought she knew where life was headed. And some days, it hurts. It hurts to remember what was lost. Not just the marriage, but the comfort, the identity, and the sense of belonging. You spend so many years building a family, building a life, and when that life suddenly shifts, it's hard not to feel like you're standing in the ruins of something you once called home. But here's the truth I've come to learn. You can grieve that version of your life and still be proud of the woman rising from it. You can cry over what didn't work and still celebrate the strength that got you here today. You can miss who you were and still love who you're becoming. Because the woman I am now, she's softer and stronger all at once. She's learning that letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from what no longer fits while holding gratitude for what shaped you. It's okay to miss the love you thought you'd have forever and still be proud of the peace you're finally starting to feel. And lately, it's been strange. I've had dreams, vivid dreams, where we're still together like nothing ever happened. Sometimes we're sitting around together as a family again, talking, laughing, just like normal. And almost every time it's the same setting. It's all of us together at our old house, on our old property, living life like we used to. It feels so real that when I wake up, it takes me a minute to remember that life doesn't exist anymore. And I wake up feeling confused because I don't want that life back. I don't want him back. But it's like my heart and my mind are still learning how to let go in different ways. Maybe those dreams aren't about wanting him again. Maybe they're about missing the feeling of safety or family or the version of life I once believed in. Maybe it's my subconscious trying to say goodbye in its own way, trying to close a chapter that once meant everything to me. And that's the thing about healing. It's not just in your thoughts, it shows up in your dreams too. It reminds you that even when you think you've moved on, there are still small pieces of you making peace with your past. Redefining peace and finding yourself again. You know, when I think about where I am now, 1 year later after our divorce was finalized, it still feels strange sometimes. There's a peace that comes with distance, but there's also this quiet ache that never completely goes away. It's not sharp anymore, it's softer, but it's still there. I think peace after divorce isn't about forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about learning to live with the reality of it, the good, the bad, and everything in between. It's about finding comfort in the quiet, even when the quiet used to scare you. There was this time when silence felt unbearable for me, when the empty spaces in the house echoed it too loudly. I used to fill every moment with noise, music, the TV, anything, just so I didn't have to sit with the weight of it all. But somewhere along the way, I stopped trying to escape the silence and started listening to it. And you know what I heard? I heard my own voice, the one that had been buried under years of compromise, of trying to keep peace, of trying to be everything for everyone else. And I started to remember the things I loved, the way I used to laugh, the way I used to dream. It wasn't easy, and sometimes it's still not easy. There are days I miss the familiar security of my old life, even when I know it wasn't healthy for me anymore. But there's something really beautiful about building a new kind of peace, one that isn't dependent on anyone else. It's a peace that comes from trusting yourself again, from making decisions without second guessing yourself, from realizing that you can stand on your own and feel whole. And that's what this past year has been about. Not trying to replace what I lost, but learning to love what I have. My boys, my freedom, my voice, and the woman I'm still becoming. Sometimes I wake up from those dreams, the ones where we're all together at the old house, and I take a deep breath, reminding myself that it's okay to miss it. It's okay to love who I was back then, but it's also okay to be proud of the woman who's standing here now, rebuilding her life one peaceful day at a time. And honestly, I think sometimes those dreams come from another place too, from watching my boys grow up and realizing that soon they'll be moving on too. Maybe those dreams are my heart's way of holding on to the feeling of all of us being together under one roof. Because I know when that season ends, I'm going to miss it too, probably more than words can say. There's a different kind of grief in that too. The quiet kind that comes with change, even the good kind. Because peace isn't the absence of pain, it's learning to exist alongside it and still choosing to move forward. Lessons from the journey. If there's one thing this past year has taught me, it's that healing isn't about pretending you're okay. It's about allowing yourself to not be okay and still showing up anyway. I used to think that strength meant holding everything together, smiling through the pain, making sure no one could see the cracks. But real strength, I've learned, is found in the moments you fall apart and still keep going. It's in the nights you cry yourself to sleep and somehow still get up and face the next day. There were times these past 2 years when I didn't even recognize myself. I felt lost, disconnected, and unsure of what came next. And honestly, there were days I didn't want to be strong anymore. But that's the thing about healing. You don't always feel it happening. Some days it looks like crying in your car or journaling until your hands hurt. And then some days it's just breathing and saying, I made it through today. And little by little, those small moments start to add up. You realize you're not crying as often and you're laughing again. Not the forced kind, but the real kind that comes from deep inside. You start to see yourself in a new light, not as someone broken, but as someone becoming whole. I think the biggest lesson I've learned is that healing doesn't erase the past, it reshapes it. It takes the pain and turns it into purpose. And it takes the heartbreak and turns it into wisdom. I used to wish I could erase certain memories, certain moments, but now I don't want to, because those moments, as painful as they were who made me who I am. They taught me how to stand on my own, how to trust myself, and how to build a life that feels peaceful, even if it looks completely different than I imagined. And maybe that's the beauty in all of this. You can lose everything you thought you needed and still find yourself standing in a place of peace. You can miss what once was and still love what is. You can mourn the past and still build a future that feels like home. If you're in that place right now, the one where you're grieving and growing all at once, I just want you to know it's okay to feel both. You're not going backwards, you're healing. And that process doesn't look perfect for anyone. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I'm still figuring it all out. But I can finally say that I'm proud of the woman I see in the mirror. She has been through hell and somehow came out softer, stronger, and more at peace than she's ever been. And maybe that's what healing really is. Not forgetting what you lost, but learning to love who you're becoming because of it. Looking ahead with hope. As I step into this next chapter, I can feel something shifting, not in a loud, dramatic way, but quietly, gently, like the calm after a long storm. For so long, I lived in survival mode. Every day felt like I was just trying to make it through. But lately, I've started to feel moments of peace that aren't forced. Little glimpses of joy that catch me off guard, a morning that feels a little bit lighter, a laugh that comes a little bit easier, and a night that doesn't end in me overthinking. I don't know exactly what the future holds, and honestly, for the first time, I'm okay with that. I'm not chasing what's gone, and I'm not waiting for what's next. I'm learning to just be in the moment, to breathe, and to trust. Because peace doesn't mean life is perfect. It means I've learned to find beauty even when things are still uncertain. It means I can sit in my own company and feel content. It means I'm starting to believe that everything I went through had a purpose, even if I didn't understand it at the time. There's still grief, still healing, and still moments that pull at my heart, like those dreams of the old house or watching my boys grow and knowing that change is coming again. But now, instead of fearing it, I'm learning to honor it. To let every ending remind me that new beginnings are always waiting. The woman I was 2 years ago didn't even know if she would survive. She didn't know if she'd ever feel whole again. And now, I may not have all the answers, but I do have peace. And that's enough for me. So, as I look ahead, I'm choosing to believe what's meant for me won't miss me. That love, real love, will find me again in whatever form it's meant to. Maybe not the same kind I once had, but the kind that feels like home in my soul. And even if it doesn't, I've already found something even better. Myself. Because peace isn't something you find out there, it's something you build within yourself, one honest, healing day at a time. If these last couple of years have taught me anything, it's that endings can also be beginnings. That sometimes life has to fall apart so you can rebuild it with stronger hands and a softer heart. When I look back now, I don't see failure anymore. I see courage. I see a woman who chose herself even when it hurt. I see a mother who showed her boys that it's okay to start over, that it's okay to not have it all figured out, and that strength doesn't mean never breaking. It means breaking open and growing from it. There are still moments that catch me off guard, a memory that shows up in a song, a quiet night when the house feels too still, or a random dream that pulls me back to what used to be. But now, instead of fighting those moments, I let them come. I let them remind me of where I've been and how far I've come. Because those memories don't define me anymore. They shape me. They remind me that I'm human and that healing is messy and beautiful all at the same time. And I guess that's what this Truth Talk Thursday is really about, giving yourself permission to hold on to both things, the grief of what you lost and the pride in who you're becoming. Because healing isn't about replacing what's gone, it's about rediscovering what was inside you all along. If you've listened to this and you're somewhere in that space where your heart still aches, but you're still trying to find your way back to yourself, I want you to know you're not alone. You're allowed to miss what was and still move towards what will be. You're allowed to feel sadness and joy in the same breath. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning how to live again, fully, freely, and without apology. And I know sometimes that road feels long, but I promise the version of you that's waiting on the other side is worth it. She's still in there, the version who laughs without fear, loves without losing herself, and sleeps peacefully knowing she's enough. She's waiting for you to come home to her. If this episode spoke to you, take a moment after listening to reflect on how far you've come. Write it down, say it out loud, or share it with someone who might need to hear it too. And if you haven't yet, make sure to follow Mama Drama and Trauma on YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram, and share this episode with your friends, your sisters, or anyone walking through their own healing journey. The more people we reach, the more hearts we can remind that they're not alone. And as always, you are strong, you are worthy, and your story matters. Until next time, take care of you.